Hello everybody, how's it going? It's me, Crendor, and welcome back to more Warhammer discussion videos. Today, I want to talk about basing, primarily because I started basing. So back when I got into Warhammer, nearly a year ago, it's actually been, I'm like 1 or 2 weeks away, actually probably like a week and a half, 2 weeks from it being a year since I got back into Warhammer, which is crazy because it actually feels like it's been 2 or 3 years of doing this, but it's almost been a year. And one of the things that made me so excited was actually basing my models. I remember seeing all these different bases people would make, and I remember being like, oh my god, like I want to start basing stuff right away and all that. And I remember I ordered all these basing materials, right? Like you can see up here, I've got like Warhammer texture paints. I got these little like grass things from I think Army Painter. And I was like, dude, I'm so ready. I'm going to start basing. And then I didn't. Because I realized, oh, all right, you got to build the model, then you got to paint, then you got to, you know, like make all the details right, and then basing felt like the end step, right, after you've done everything. And I never really finished something, and when I did, I almost forgot about basing, and I would just move on to another model I just bought, or building more stuff, because then I started playing the game, and I was like, oh, well, I got to get more units out there. Then you just start playing with, like, I don't know, plastic units. You're like, it's a Battletome. It's just a plastic Battletome on a thing, and you're like, yeah, he's got the sundial. He's proxying for the other. You know, once you start playing the game, you just want to play it, and you don't care as much about actually painting or playing, at least initially. And then now I've kind of gotten back into everything. And the other day I was just sitting there, and I was like, oh yeah, I ordered all these basing materials like a year ago when I first got into it, and I was like, why don't I just base something? Like, I've got stuff, right? And so, here's what I did. First up's the Battletome. You can, well, I'll show you here, right? I got like a rock, I got some little grass things. I'll show you on the actual, I did that because doing it on this green screen looks terrible. But there you go, you can kind of see it, right? I got like a rock, I got some little plants, I got like the mud. You know, it's very basic basing. This is like the most white girl basing you can do. Extremely basic. And then I did the slans. So I got my 2 slans. Here's my Lord Kroak. I actually painted Lord Kroak on this channel. 4-part little series if you want to see that. There's his little base down here. As you can see. You can see better in the actual screenshot behind me. But yeah, if you want to check that out, I'll put in the little card thing. I've never actually used these cards before. It was like the first time I use a card. I guess you click it and it pops open. I'll put up part 1 or something if you care. If not, you can just find it on the channel. I don't know. So that's my Lord Kroak. And then I tried the earth texture, as you can see, for my slan, which looked a little more muddy. I guess it's like an earth mud. But you can see right here. Well, you can't see. Oh, wait. Here we go. I just did like 4 little grass things right there. All right, it looks terrible. But yeah, you can you can see better from the actual picture behind me of what it really looks like. And honestly, like, it's not that difficult, and it's pretty easy. And it really helps the model, like, look good compared to it sitting on just a, you know, a blank piece of plastic. So I wanted to ask everybody pretty much basing materials you might have, whether it's good YouTube channels for basing, whether it's places to get basing materials. I know Army Painters where I found most of them, like all little grass and a lot of the stuff, but you know, maybe there's like some website I don't know about. It's got a bunch of cool basing materials. Maybe just some cool Instagram, I don't know, people that post like really cool bases, or just basing tutorials or anything. Or maybe even just your stories. Like, how do you base your models? And what are some like tips and tricks that you might have? This is weird, right? Like, normally the YouTubers like the top 5 basing tips and tricks you need. And now I'm like, hey guys, I don't know what I'm doing, so I need you to give me the tips and tricks. So you should do that. But I don't know, because once I got started doing this, I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Like, now I want to make like little jungle things. I want to find more like grass tufts. I want to do like more rocks. So, you know, you could like, I mean, you could just find like rocks and stuff outside too, but or maybe more texture paints, because obviously Games Workshop has like a few, but they don't have like a lot. So I'm wondering if there's like more texture paints or whatever. I just want to learn a lot about basing now, because this is one of my favorite things. Like I've said, I'm a very like environment, ambient, detailed person. I love it. I love the, you know, the ambience of something. So if it's got like, oh, it's in this jungly, cool looking environment, it helps the model feel like it's alive, and that's what I really like about it. And that's why I want to start basing everything, and I probably will. All the things that I've at least finished so far. And yeah, so let me know down in the comments section below all those things, and thank you for listening, watching, and yeah, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the like button, share, whatever, YouTube lingo, and thank you again. Okay, see ya.